Welcome to Making It Happen, the podcast for working parents who are raising kids, growing careers, and trying to stay grounded in the process. I'm your host, Pauline Roth. Each week, we'll talk about real-life balance, the kind that doesn't look perfect, but works for you. This isn't about having it all. It's about making it happen.
You want to start or you tell us when? All right. So, welcome, Riz, to the podcast,
Thank you.
Making It Happen. So, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me here, Pauline.
Of
I
course.
really appreciate it. So my name is Riz Hakim. I am part of Team Hakim with Remax Premier Group. My wife and I are full-time realtors. And then secondarily, we founded a business networking group called the Bay Network. And that's about me in a nutshell.
It's amazing. The Bay Network is amazing because you have so many good people. So, how did you get into real estate?
So long story short, both of our mothers actually were realtors when we were kids. And that was actually how Abby and I met. And so they
At a
definitely-
showing?
I'm sorry.
At a showing?
No, it gets even funnier. So my mom and her mom were actually best friends, and my
Okay.
mom ended up moving into the house 2 doors down from her. So yeah, we used to attend open houses together and pack mailers with magnets and business cards, and
That's awesome.
so that was probably the start of it, and it's something that we've always kind of wanted to get into, and finally took the leap of faith.
So you are both licensed in Florida and anywhere else?
So in the state of Florida for now.
Okay. Do you plan on branching out to other states?
Potentially. So we've entertained the idea of actually international as well. Just knowing that there are a lot of other markets that are growing, and we like to travel as well. So that's something we've entertained, but for the moment, we want to focus on this area, particularly Wesley Chapel, Greater Tampa Bay area.
Okay.
Where we're trying to focus.
Yeah. So what do you feel has been the hardest part in Florida for you?
For real estate in particular?
Yeah, for real estate.
It's been very dynamic. I think being really fluid in conversations and just understanding the market has really been important for us, especially through the COVID years. We stayed open, whereas most of the rest of the world was shut down. So
Right.
we had this huge influx of people moving to the area from other states and other countries, as well. And I think from there, we had this huge demand. Prices, of course, surged, and
Yeah. It was-
since then it's tapered off a little bit, and just being able to understand the changing dynamics and kind of rolling with it has been really, really important for us.
Yeah, because we bought 3 years ago, and we bought obviously this house, but it was a new construction, and we had to bid on our house. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Our realtor told us that 19 people bid on our house, and we
believe it.
got the house. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It was crazy. And now it's like, did we overpay? Like, I don't want to get too much in my head because then
Sure.
I'm like, then I have regrets. Like, we shouldn't have paid that much. Like, are we going to be able to sell it for a higher amount? But
Sure.
so, what has your experience been with that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that went through that same experience.
Mhm.
For us, it's really just understanding timelines and knowing that the market as a whole is cyclical, right? Every so often, you're going to have highs and lows, and in general, it's knowing that real estate has traditionally always gone up in value, and knowing that this area, especially because I think we just have a lot of undeveloped land, and a lot of infrastructure in place, that we're one of the fastest growing areas in the country.
Yeah.
So long term, I think you guys are going to be perfectly fine. It's just
We're
may
gonna
just
have to
have
be here for a while.
you may just have to, hang on to the house for a little bit,
Yeah.
just to know that your value is secured there. But that's just it. I mean, I think if you're looking from an investment standpoint, for short-term investments, like that's where I think it takes a little bit closer consideration
Hmm.
as to the purchasing. But long-term, this area is not slowing down anytime soon.
No, they're building like crazy over
Yeah,
here. Like it's
they really are.
insane.
It
It's
is.
soon gonna be a city. Like I
Yeah,
remember when we first bought the house, I told my husband, I was like, where are because we bought sight unseen, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
we were driving down and there's cows to my
yeah.
right. I'm like, where are we?
Yep, yep.
Because I'm a city girl. Like there's no cows in Chicago.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. And it's funny you say that because Abby and I are from Northern Virginia,
Hmm.
so just outside of DC, and some of the traffic we're seeing here is what we experienced there, like
Yeah.
15, 20 years ago. And so, we moved to this area for that very same reason. Like we bought a little bit of property, we
Hmm.
wanted to have animals, things like that. And then next thing you know, like they built the overpass exit ramp like right past our
Yeah.
neighborhood. Our little 2-lane country road is now turning into a 4-lane road, and it's crazy. I mean, it is like all of a sudden we are watching a city being built right before our eyes.
I know when I take that road, I was telling Jim actually, I'm like, I would hate to live here because now they're making it 4 lanes. Like, why would anyone want that? Because you obviously didn't buy for that reason.
Yeah, yeah. It's I think, gosh, it's an interesting time because a lot of
Hmm.
long-term residents, all of our neighbors have been there for 15, 20 plus years, and for them, I empathize, because they really did move out to the country, and that was
Hmm.
what they wanted, peace and quiet, with accessibility, if you wanted to get into Tampa or other cities. But for them, it is definitely a huge change, and I
Yeah.
think we're seeing a trend where a lot of those long-term residents are now moving further north. They're moving out to areas that are still less developed,
Hmm.
or they're even going to other states like Tennessee, Georgia. Um, so it's just, I don't know. I think everybody has to kind of figure out what works best for them and what they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Um, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Like I like the quiet, and now it's like getting crazy, and I'm like, should we move? I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know what to do. But then again, we moved during the time where everyone was moving,
yeah.
and I feel like well, everyone moved from the north down to
Hmm.
Florida. It's just crazy. What has your experience been? Do you see that a lot of northern people move down to Florida?
Yeah, so we have seen a lot of out-of-state clients. In particular, we've seen the Northeast. So a lot of people are coming from New York, New Jersey, California is another big
Hmm.
one, and those are very expensive markets. They're mature
Yeah.
markets, and they've been so for a long time. So for a lot of these folks, coming from an area where $1 million would get you a 2-bedroom studio, and coming to this area where you do have a lot of development, there are good school systems,
Hmm.
infrastructure is up and coming. I think for them, they still look at this area as a huge value,
Yeah.
relatively. They can buy a beautiful house with property for 500,000, 600,000,
Hmm.
and still pocket some of the money from what they sold. Um, yeah, so we've definitely experienced quite a bit of that. And again, I think for long-term residents here, it's just there's still areas where you can find relatively good value for money.
Hmm.
It just may not be in the heart of Tampa or here in the heart of Wesley Chapel.
Right. Right. So I know we were talking earlier. You said that you showed property all the way on the Georgia borderline. So tell me why do you travel so far?
Yeah, so needless to say, we like to keep business as close to
Yeah.
home as possible. But in that specific scenario, we had a client whose home we were selling here in the local area, and they wanted to purchase something like a bit of a generational property, something with acreage and something with multiple homes on it. And I think for the same context of the question you asked before of, um, where are those people going?
Mm.
It's kind of further north or even further south,
Yeah.
to where they're going to get more for their money, and so that was for that specific scenario. Outside of that, we try to stay within a 1 to 2 hour drive of the Tampa Bay area,
Yeah.
ideally. But at the end of the day, we want to do what we can to help our clients.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, I appreciate that you travel that far because there are some realtors that only stay in their community or only stay in their city or town and that's it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I think we have the benefit that Abby and I work together. So I had mentioned in situations like that, where I need to spend a day on the road, for a client, she can take care of our other clients' needs here,
yeah.
closer to home. So not everybody has that ability, especially single agents. I think that's going to be a lot harder, to take a day or two at a time or a whole weekend to dedicate to that much drive time.
Mhm.
But yeah, ultimately we want to try and keep it as efficient as possible, but every now and then, we can divide and conquer it.
That's
Uh,
awesome that you guys are doing it together.
oh, thank you. Thank you.
So, do you plan on having kids? Do you want children?
Yes, yes. So that is definitely something we would love to have. We just watched our niece over this past week.
How old is she?
She's 14.
Okay.
Her name is Zoe, and she is amazing. Wonderful, wonderful young woman. Um, and yeah, times like that, like just spending times, like we were playing Mario Kart with her. I took her
Yeah.
out on, I don't know if you know what gators are, like John Deere gators. They're kind of like a golf cart type of
Yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
So she's going to be getting her learner's permit here soon. So like I let her hop in the
That's
driver's
awesome.
seat of that, and she like whipped it around the backyard. And then once
Teach
we
her
got
how
her
to
in,
drive early.
that's it. So it was a lot of fun. She rode around our backyard, and then I was like, okay, you feel good enough, and we rode around the block, and she had a great time. So just experiences like that are definitely something we'd love to share with our own kids someday. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely something we'd love
Yeah. Well, you're more than welcome to watch my kids anytime you'd like.
to.
I'll just send them over. Then you can get all ages. Get prepared for all ages.
How old are your kids?
They're 7 and Mila's going to be 10. She's like,
Oh
"Mommy, I'm going to
boy.
be double digits." I was like, "I know.
Yeah.
Stop telling me."
Yeah. They grow up too fast, right?
They do.
Too
You
fast.
know, everyone says they grow up in a blink of an eye, and you don't really think about it when you have a child right away because you're like, "Oh, I have time." But really, it is a blink of an eye.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny, Abby and I have been talking about that a lot more recently,
Mhm.
where um, it's just I think perspective is changing for us as well, where it's like weeks feel like days, months feel like weeks, and
Yeah.
yeah, we're like we'll talk about like a trip or a vacation. We're like, oh my gosh, that was 7 years ago, or
Yeah.
like that was like 12 years ago, and it's like it is crazy how that goes. But I remember our parents saying that as kids, and we're like, oh, you just say that because you're old,
I know.
and
I
it's
know.
like, no, that's a real thing.
Yeah, it
That's a
is a
real
real
thing.
thing. Oh my goodness. All right, so let me switch over to talk about your networking group. How
Yeah.
did you start that and why did you start it?
Yeah, great questions. So the why I would say is probably because Abby gave me the idea. When we decided to go into real estate as a team, both of us came from corporate backgrounds, so
Mhm.
we both spent 11, 12 years apiece in our different fields. And what I did specifically was I worked in telecom and I did B2B sales. And so I was part of networking groups, and I knew from my exposure to those groups that the realtors in those groups really benefited a lot from having a support system around them. Just having vendors that they could trust, that they could refer to their clients, and for their own personal needs, interactions like this, you just wouldn't otherwise get if you don't put yourself in those rooms.
Right.
So that was it. Like when we decided to get into real estate, I knew that was going to be a fundamental part of our business. And so I originally looked into a couple of the other established groups in our area, and they all had realtors. They all had a wait list of 10 to 15 other realtors waiting for that realtor to leave. So I kind of, I looked into launching our own chapter of another established group. And I kind of just had the conversation with Abby. I was like, I'm going to put in all this work. We are going to put in all this work. And, there's no guarantee that this is, that I couldn't get voted out of the group that I helped start, or that, I wouldn't have ownership of the group that I helped to start. So that was a huge concern for us as far as longevity. And so Abby just kind of looked at me one night and she was like, why don't you start your own group? And so I took it literally, and lo and behold, we spent months of just planning and drafting up business plans and concepts and all that. And then here we are. We're going on our third year now. So that's it.
Yeah, and I've been to your networking group, and you have amazing people.
Thank
You
so
really
much.
do. It's
Thank
not
you.
like another networking group, because I've been in plenty of networking groups, but it's not like, okay, here's my business card, call me if you need anything. Like, actually, everyone interacts with each other, which is amazing to me.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that was our experience as well. So for me, I came from a background of sales, and so networking was still a bit uncomfortable, to be completely honest. But I had done it enough to where I knew how to do it, and I wasn't as intimidated by it, knowing that we had to do a bit of it for getting into real estate. But a big part of my consideration was that Abby did not have the sales experience that I had. She was in digital marketing,
Yeah.
so she ran a team, and they didn't necessarily have consumer-facing interactions where when we were thinking about the group conceptually, like we really wanted to address exactly that, like the person who is just an entrepreneur that wants to take a chance and get out there. We wanted to make it more approachable and more helpful, and really create a community that is supportive of one another. So I'm glad that you said that, because really
I mean,
that was really a huge premise of why we did this.
yeah, it was that's what I noticed first about you guys. It's not like a typical networking event, like I said, where you just hand out your cards and you have your elevator pitch on what you do and
Yeah.
call me if you need anything, and then you never talk to the person again.
Yeah, no, that was something that we really wanted to hit the nail on the head with. We wanted to put the relationships first. I think that was really the basis of it, because we know that at the end of the day, for anybody in business, like we have an objective, but the people that we surround ourselves with, like we want to connect with on
Right.
a human level first, right? I want to genuinely be friends with people that I work with, and I think that takes some vulnerability. So I think that takes really wanting to help somebody first, and so that's kind of that's really fundamental for us, in that like we have open group discussions on solving each other's problems.
Yeah.
And when you expose the problems that you're having, you find that a lot of other people share similar experiences. And for those of us that are maybe more established in our businesses, like being able to help somebody else in a situation that you've already faced creates a bond far faster than handing a business card out and saying,
Right.
hey, I just, call me when you have business for me type of thing.
Yeah. And you're being authentic too.
Yeah.
So that takes a lot. And then as an entrepreneur, you think you're alone in everything and you're like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. I keep questioning myself like, am I doing something wrong? And to hear how other people do it and get their insight or their input on things, it's really helpful.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
that was really important for us. So I'm so happy to hear you say that because it was your first experience there.
yes.
So if that was your takeaway, I think we're doing the job.
Yes, you're doing amazing.
Thank you so much.
So, how does someone become a member of the networking group?
Yeah, great question. So we have an application process, and then we go through an interview process. We try to vet all of our members so that they have all the licenses in place and certifications that would be required for their line of work. We'll call references and speak to them on the phone to make sure that it's the right fit for them and for the group dynamics. And then from there, if it's a good fit, we induct them and then welcome them to the group.
So, I know you have a lot of different people who have different businesses. So, do you want one from each business or how do you handle that part of it?
Yeah, so we are seat specific. So
Hmm.
we do try to keep one seat per business. But with that being said, there is a lot of how do I say? There's a lot of room for growth in how like commercial real estate versus residential real estate.
Hmm.
And we have a property manager in the group who is a licensed realtor as well. So I think there's a lot of room for growth there, and we are looking to launch our second chapter this coming year. So also providing further opportunities to be more inclusive of anyone who wants to join.
That's awesome. Well, I might be calling you again.
Please do, yeah. I'd love to help you out however I can or be a part of this again.
Yes, definitely. So tell me what has what are some challenges that you face both with real estate and with the networking group?
Ooh, challenges.
And how do you overcome them?
Yeah. So time management is huge. Time
Yeah.
management is definitely a big thing because I think initially when you're getting up and running, there are so many things to do, and setting priorities for them are really important. Like just being able to drown out the noise and focusing on your objectives that are going to move the needle for you, I think is really important. Um, a couple of ways we've overcome that is things you have mentioned are um, having some tools in place so
Hmm.
everything goes on the calendar so that we don't abuse our own time, right? Like so we're not just going off and doing random things, tending to laundry or getting groceries in the middle of a workday when that should be used for more, productive activities.
Hmm.
And then other than that, it's I think another big thing is getting comfortable with no, because
Absolutely.
there are so many ways that you can get pulled, and um, you have to really be able to distinguish. Like, is this going to really help me move my business forward? If not, I think that's something that we have to acknowledge for ourselves and be okay, either scheduling for a later time or
Hmm.
just saying no altogether and
Right.
being okay with that.
Yeah, some people aren't okay with the answer no. But for every 10 people that say no, one person's going to say yes or maybe. And then okay, maybe works for me too. Do you
Yeah.
feel that same way?
Yeah, definitely. I think we all have seasons, right?
Yeah.
Like we have seasons of life, we have seasons of business, and yeah, like when we have big changes happening with the networking group or a lot of client activity, we have to ebb and flow. You know what commitments we can make. Um, so it may just be a no for now, right? And
Yeah.
same thing with clients. Like we don't get discouraged if we're not necessarily the right fit for a client. you never know when you may be able to help somebody down the road as well, or when your schedule may free up. Um, so it's not necessarily a no forever. It may just be a no for this moment.
No, for right now. So tell me about, because I know I talked a lot about mindset. So how do you feel about mindset, and how does it work for your businesses?
Yeah, so mindset is everything.
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur is difficult to say the least. And like you said, a lot of times we do feel like we're on an island.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very grateful that I have my wife as my life and business partner by my side. So um, thankfully, I can bounce a lot of things off of her. Um, but I think, I think I just lost my train of thought, to be honest.
That's fine. Are there things that you do in particular to have a good mindset?
Yeah, I think the networking group is huge for us.
Mm-hmm.
We try to keep a positive culture. Staying positive is the biggest thing, right? I mean, we face so many challenges that you just have to reinforce that with people you surround yourself with, and
Right.
trying to stay active through physical activity definitely helps. If you've got your mind clouded or you got a million things going on, like go for a walk, go for
Yeah.
a drive, get some fresh air, go to your happy place, whether it's by the water or the park or a library.
Or go look at your dream house.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Just whatever it is to kind of recenter
Yeah.
yourself, and clear out the noise. I think it's really important. And taking some time for yourself. I
Mm-hmm.
think initially when we started, we were running at 150 miles per hour, and we got burnt out. I mean, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And so we are more and more aware that we need to take, we need to take time off for ourselves, and truly dedicated time off, like, no screen time, no phone, reconnecting with each other,
Yeah.
reconnecting with family and friends. And that does wonders for you, um,
Absolutely.
the saying, what is that saying? You can't pour from an empty cup,
Mm-hmm.
I think that is so important now more than ever.
Yeah. Is your family here in Florida?
So we have some family.
Some family? Okay.
I have a cousin whose niece, whose daughter rather, we were watching this past week.
Yeah.
They live right around the corner from us, so we're really close with them.
That's good.
My mother still lives in Northern Virginia, so we visit from time to time. And then outside of that, we're kind of all over the place. Abby's mother lives nearby us, actually,
Okay.
about 45 minutes
So
away.
that's good that you have some family here.
Definitely,
Helps keep you grounded.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and it's nice, when we can just take a short drive and touch base.
Yeah.
Or for the holidays, that makes all the difference for sure.
Absolutely. Now, before we wrap up, I have every question that I like to ask guests.
Yeah.
Don't be nervous.
Okay.
What's the greatest lesson failure has taught you that you still carry with you today?
Oh, I would say be resilient. I think it's be resilient. It's been said a million different ways, but it is really just don't lose faith. Don't lose faith in yourself. Don't lose faith in what you believe in. Um, just just keep going. Failure is a part of the journey,
Yeah.
and I think that's what builds character for all of us. That's what makes the successes that much sweeter. That's what makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah.
Is knowing that you fell, and you picked yourself up, and you went back at it. So that's probably
That is good advice. I agree. So tell everybody where they can find you.
So you can find us either calling us by phone, text, email. We have a website. We're on social media.
What is your website?
So our website for the Bay Network is thebay.biz. And for real estate, it's teamhakimhomes.com.
And I will put that in the show notes. Thank you so much, Riz. This was amazing.
Thanks for tuning in to Making It Happen. If today's episode hit home, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who needs to hear it. Want more tools and support? Visit paulineroth.com for free resources to keep making it happen. See you next time.